We've just come from a 70 millimeter screening of The Odyssey. Here are our scores out of 10. 3, 2, 1, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 8.59.
Yeah.
It's 9. It's not going higher than a 9.
Agreed.
But it's 9.
Agreed. And I'm with you, like, where it's like, absolutely, like, I'm probably closer to an 8.5. Maybe I'm like an 8.7.
It's a high 8.
Yep.
9.
Yep.
It's very, 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 very good. Is it generationally peak best movie of the decade?
No.
No.
I don't think so either.
No. I think The Last Third is. I love The Last Third.
Yep.
But no, it's really, really good. There's a lot of positives. I think the positives are going to vastly outweigh the negatives.
We're giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is the best movie of the Odyssey is the best movie of the year.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, I think I'm gonna yeah, I think that's gonna be my answer. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm still thinking that through, but yeah.
Sure. We will talk about this a little bit more in spoilers when we get into like really nitty gritty stuff, because there's one major thing that we can't really talk about that is like when we're not talking spoilers that we have to talk about later. That's where I really want to get into the nitty gritty of problems, but let's just fire off some positives and negatives that we can say. Let's just go.
I don't have a lot that I can say.
I'll say something real quick, and I think you'll agree with me completely. The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan may be the greatest made movie I've ever seen in my life. You know, they always say, I think Anne Hathaway is the person that's been saying this in interviews recently, that if you work on a Christopher Nolan set, you are one of the top 3 people in the world at what you do. And I think I love Oppenheimer, and I think you feel that a bit with Oppenheimer. You feel that in every frame in Odyssey. There's not a shot in this movie that, like, every painstaking detail is explored in every single shot in Odyssey. Every costume to the last detail is perfect. The acting, it's some of the best performances by any of the actors. We'll get into that in a minute. Of all of their careers. The writing is phenomenal, and the set pieces, and you know, you see it in the trailers, but the prosthetics and the maybe big models and the ships and the sets, everything is unfucking believable.
Yeah, the Odyssey looks amazing. Like there's not a shot that doesn't. The lighting, the cinematography, like a lot of it is, you can see this in the trailers and everything. A lot of it is lit by fire because you know they're in the palace or buildings where it's fire. It's either that or they're on the ocean. It's just, you know, you've seen the posters where he's fighting that big guy. It looks amazing when they're traveling to different sets. Everything, you know. One random shot in this movie would be the best shot in any other movie. It's crazy. And I just was constantly floored by the lighting in Troy, the lighting with the suitors in Odysseus' house. Just, it looks amazing, and everything is grand. Everything is big. Nothing looks bad. So, yeah. In terms of the acting, yes, the acting in the Odyssey is amazing, obviously. Tom does a great job. Matt does a great job. Robert, I thought, really did a great job.
Robert Pattinson.
Stole the show.
A lot of people were saying that. Our good friend of the show, Leia Martinez Slayas, she said that Robert Pattinson was by far...
I was teeing you up for who actually stole the show.
Oh.
Anne Hathaway is the correct answer.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway is spectacular.
Anne Hathaway is spectacular. Robert... I would give a maybe second.
What I was saying with Leia is Leia said that Robert Pattinson stole the show for her.
Yeah.
No, Anne Hathaway's spectacular.
Hathaway in Odyssey is unbelievable. I think she does an amazing job.
Kevin McCarthy, who's like one of the most respected interviewers in our space, said to Anne Hathaway to her face, he was like, "This is the best performance of your career.
Yeah,
better than your Oscar-winning performance for Les Mis." And I saw that and I was like, "Wow, am I skeptical about that?" And I see the movie. I don't know if I'm saying it's better than I Dreamed a Dream, but it is a spectacular performance.
I was blown away by some of her scenes. All the scenes. Okay, we can't get into spoilers there, but no, Anne was my number one coming out of this movie. I thought she did amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna glaze because he's my GOAT, but I do think that this is Tom Holland's best performance of his career being in the Odyssey. I mean,
he's so good.
You know, I think maybe the highs and oh my gosh, MCU Dick Rider, whatever. I think the highs of No Way Home do beat this. His performance when he's got Aunt May's body and like, stay with me, May, stay with me, is incredible. His eyes when he's crying watching the J. Jonah Jameson, and then one of your favorite scenes with the 2 Spider-Men.
He does amazing in that scene.
So those, I think, highs are higher. but consistently all the way through, he is incredible. There's not a weak moment in his performance.
There
in
are
Odyssey.
a couple of highs later in the movie that we can't talk about right now, but he's really consistent in this movie, and I'm happy for him.
Absolutely.
I saw an interview clip with him recently where he's like, I really believe in manifestation, and then it was a montage of all the things he said in interviews that have come true about like Zendaya being his number one crush, him wanting to be Spider-Man, Uncharted being his favorite video game, him wanting to work with Christopher Nolan. I'm like,
it's absurd, but
it's awesome.
It seemingly, I've never had the privilege of meeting Tom Holland, but it seemingly couldn't be happening to a better human being.
Yeah.
Everything we hear about him. I mean,
him and Zendaya. Both, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but we just had a meeting with somebody who has worked with him several times, and they were like, he's the kind of person where he's like, he's so fake. You should not be.
Yeah, you should be meaner.
Acting the way, how kind you are.
Stop being so nice.
So we've heard amazing things. Tom, come on the podcast, please.
Yes.
But he's incredible. I mean, Matt Damon is Matt Damon. He's great all throughout it. It's nowhere near his best performance for me personally.
No.
I think that he's better in The Martian, and I think he's better in Saving Private Ryan. And he might even be better in The Departed. But Anne Hathaway's spectacular, like you said, Robert Pattinson. I mean, every performance. And every performance from every ensemble member. I actually thought Elliot Page was fabulous.
Yeah.
In this movie. Elliot Page isn't in it much, but Elliot Page is, like, every scene I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah. No, that was...
no one had a bad performance. No one had a bad performance.
Can we... Yeah?
What?
I was going to ask if we could talk about the costume design.
Sure, go ahead.
That Agamemnon fit.
Oh, Aura.
Oh my gosh.
Sick. It's my
so
background.
tough.
The poster where you see the spine part of it.
The best part. That's the best poster.
It's so cool.
It is so cool.
And there are some shots, can't spoil them, but there are some shots where he's looking pretty cool.
It's interesting because when I saw it in the trailer and I knew it was Benny Safdie behind it, and you see it's in the trailer, that shot of like Odysseus going up to him and he turns around and he's staring at, I thought it looked silly, but something about seeing it on the big IMAX screen, like it like you said, it was so much aura. It was so cool. It's one of my favorite costumes of the year, maybe my favorite costume of the year. So cool. And then all the costumes, there is a lot of controversy around not doing like period accurate costumes, not having period accurate dialogue, stuff like that. But the costumes is the one example where I think you have the least ground to stand on if you're upset about it, because this looks so much cooler than what would have been period accurate.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah. I understand that a little bit, but at the same time, it's like
Odysseus looks so tough with the red helmet thing. That is so cool.
Yeah. What else? Spoiler free. I have one semi-negative that really isn't even a negative.
Go
that's
for it.
spoiler-free. So I only really have two negatives.
Sure.
And this is one of them, but even then it's not... It's not even a negative, it's just what's keeping it from maybe being like a 10 out of 10.
Sure.
The soundtrack is fabulous. The soundtrack is amazing, and it fits the movie very, very well. It was Ludwig, right?
Yeah, of course.
It sounds great, but... I can't help but compare it to other Nolan movies.
Oh,
right, and
interesting.
I don't think it comes close to some of the others, like Interstellar, like No Time for Caution, Cornfield Chase. When you hear things from Interstellar, you're like, oh my gosh, that's Interstellar. I'm levitating. Same thing with Inception, Oppenheimer, even, which is also Ludwig.
Not Oppenheimer, right? Even Oppenheimer might be the best soundtrack in any Nolan movie.
It's so distinctive.
It's incredible.
And this one is also distinctive because it's very, again, it fits the movie. It feels like an old-timey Greek thing.
Not at all what I thought you were going to say, but I think I agree with you. You're like I didn't notice the soundtrack. I mean, I didn't notice the score nearly as much as I usually notice a score in a Nolan movie.
Exactly. It's not, like, I don't think there's one theme from this that is going to play where I'm like, that's Interstellar.
You're right.
That's... but again, it's not bad.
No,
it's not a balanced soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. I can't help but compare it to...
Is it even the best Ludwig score of the year? Mando.
Sinners. Oh, Mando. Yeah, exactly. There's other examples of other Nolan movies, and there's other examples of other Ludwig that I think...
Sinners.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. I mean, it's just,
Like, even Giacchino with the Batman, like, boom. Like, there are just themes that I think make the movie stand out even more.
Sure.
And the soundtrack didn't do that for me, even though I came out and I was like, oh, that soundtrack was good, but yeah.
There were a couple moments where I really noticed the soundtrack.
Yes.
But it's not like a distinct thing. It's maybe a high stress scene.
Yes.
And there's a drum playing.
Yes.
And obviously I'm noticing the drum, but it's not a specific score
it's
melody that maybe you're looking for. With the docking. We are a docking podcast.
Yes.
The docking scene, the song is what? No Time for Caution?
Yes.
Yes.
And then
so
when
sick.
he's driving through the cornfield chase, and then when he's on Miller's planet and there's the ticking and
yes.
like nothing reaches those levels.
Yeah.
And again, that's not necessarily a negative, it's just not as positive as it necessarily could have been to be a 10 out of 10.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
That's
again, like you said, the drums and the feel of it just felt very appropriate for the movie. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I think that's a fabulous take, and I actually agree with you. It wasn't something I thought about at all, but I agree with you. Let me say a negative that I do not have, that it felt like everybody at the event we went to had, which is that the opening is slow.
Okay.
I heard, like, from anybody, because there were several people that we talked to that were like 10 out of 10 that had no problems with it. But of the people I talked to that had problems with it, 99% of them said, yeah, it's really slow at the start. And that's not something I experienced, but it's something that, like, I understand when people explained it to me. And I'm like, oh, for sure, I disagree.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be a problem for general audiences. It's a lot of exposition and, like, explaining at the start.
Yes.
World building.
I think that's more of a script. Not that the script, again, is bad.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a script thing for the first third, maybe, or first, 20 minutes when we're dealing with, certain things. Where it was like, oh, they're kind of just telling us, like, they're trying to hit some beats here. And it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was slow. I just felt like maybe they were doing a little more telling than showing, and so maybe that made it feel slow to other people. That was more of just a script thing for me, not a pacing thing. I do think it drags a little bit in the middle. That's the other negative that I have.
Big problem for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to get too into it.
Yeah, we can't.
Until we get into the spoilers, because I have, like, specific moments where I'm like, this is where it lost me, and then this is where it got me back. But Odyssey is almost 3 hours long. It's very close. I think it feels every bit of 3 hours long, and I think it's entirely the middle's fault. I felt it was flying at the start, and then one thing happens, and then it's an hour and a half, and it feels like 5 hours to me in the middle.
Interesting. I am very interested to see what that one thing is.
Yep.
I do think the slower bits are in the middle.
Yep.
I don't know if I felt every bit of 3 hours. I still felt like the 3 hours went by pretty fast because it's still a Nolan movie.
Sure.
But I do feel, like I said, I think the last third is the best 30 minutes to an hour of a movie we've gotten this year by far.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just so much fun, and it really hits home what the rest of the movie is like. It delivers on what the rest of the movie was setting up, I think, in a really satisfying way.
Sure.
I just think it took a little bit too long to get there in some ways.
Yep.
And yeah, we can go through specifics on what that means.
Yep.
But it's the Odyssey, and it's long, and it's a Nolan movie, so like you're supposed to feel like a lot of stuff is happening, and it's taking forever because that's kind of the point of the story.
Yeah.
So it does lend itself to kind of telling that story where it's like all these things are happening, and it feels like it's supposed to feel. But I do feel like maybe it could have been told a little bit tighter.
Yep.
Because like I said, Oppenheimer is not generationally peak. Like before we were even in
Odyssey.
Sorry, what did I say?
Oppenheimer.
I don't think Oppenheimer is either necessarily.
As I've aged and as Oppenheimer has grown with me, I am kind of like, oh, it is generationally peak.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Odyssey is not generationally peak, is what you were saying.
Yes, I was talking to some people beforehand, and we were like, and it's also hard to go into a movie with this kind of expectation.
Absolutely.
To even consider having this conversation before the movie and still giving it a 9 out of 10 is insane.
Absolutely.
But I was talking to people before the movie about like, okay, compare it to movies of the last 10 years, decade. Where do you think it's going to rank? And we were talking about that.
Yep.
So no, I don't think it's the best movie of the last decade or whatever. But yeah, there are parts of it that are.
Absolutely. I mean, the highs, some people have texted me and been like, hey, quick thoughts. And I keep saying to everybody, I'm like, I'm between an 8 or 9 out of 10, but like the highs are so high. And they are. I mean, they're some of the highest highs of, frankly, any movie ever.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest. Not too much else I want to talk about before we get into spoilers.
Yeah.
I say just real quick before we do, let's rank it among Nolans. Do you have that?
Yeah.
So for me, I'll start.
Okay.
For me, when it comes to Christopher Nolan, my number 1 is Dark Knight. A very close to is Inception, but those are 1A, 1B, 2 of my 10 favorite movies of all time. Third for me is Batman Begins. I'm very high on Batman Begins. 4 for me, you're going to hate this, is and always has been Tenet.
That's so wild.
5 is Oppenheimer. But I'm at this point, as I was just describing to you, where Oppenheimer could probably overtake Tenet. Maybe I need to rewatch Tenet. I did rewatch Oppenheimer relatively recently, and I was just taken aback by how great that movie is. So Oppenheimer and Tenet are fighting at the 4 and 5 spot. I probably got Interstellar and The Prestige at 6 or 7. Odyssey's right there for me. With Interstellar and Prestige, it's like a great Nolan with like one clear flaw that's holding it back for me. From being one of those just SSS tier movies, some of my favorite movies of all time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my obvious my top 2 are Interstellar, followed by Inception.
Yeah.
Those have not been touched.
Yeah.
After that, I probably put The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And then I think it's going to be The Odyssey.
Over Oppenheimer.
Definitely over Oppenheimer. Yeah. Wow. I mean, and they're completely different movies. You know, like it's a 3-hour biopic about a guy who created the nuclear bomb, or The Odyssey, which is Greek mythology and a guy coming home to his wife. You know, so they're hard to compare, but you know, I had more fun with The Odyssey, and I think The Odyssey does. Maybe Oppenheimer has a better script and things like that, but The Odyssey has grander sets and some of the things that Oppenheimer has a better score, maybe.
Yeah, it does.
But no, The Odyssey for me is going to be probably 4th, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And then I do need to see Memento and The Prestige again.
Yeah.
Memento is going to be a little bit lower than The Prestige.
Prestige feels like it would be your favorite movie of all time. Hugh Jackman doing magic.
Magic, I know. Crazy, crazy. No, it's great. It might be after The Odyssey.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. So. But Odyssey is clearly above stuff like Insomnia and Following, and for me, Memento. I like Memento. It's conceptually brilliant, but I don't know. The ending kind of leaves me going, oh, that's too sad for me.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It's very Nolan. It's very interesting. It's a good movie, but Memento is lower for me as well, as is Tenet. You know, Tenet's at the bottom, and then maybe Memento.
Yeah, you hate
even though I appreciate what Memento does. So it's probably the number 4.
Sure.
Interstellar and Inception, clear top 2, and then Dark Knight, Odyssey.
I know what you mean by saying that Oppenheimer and Odyssey are like so different movies. So it's hard to compare them, but I am going to bully you for that, because I did bully a couple of our friends that said that they preferred Odyssey to Oppenheimer. Just to me, the script is so much better in Oppenheimer than it is Odyssey. And the thing with Oppenheimer is I'm we'll get into it in spoilers. The highs of Odyssey are so high, but I do not think it touches the ending of Oppenheimer, where he turns to Einstein at the thing we've been building to the entire movie, and he goes, you know, when I came to you with those calculations that we'd destroy the world, I think we did. That, like, the feeling I got from that movie is unlike a feeling I've ever gotten from any movie ever, including The Odyssey.
Yeah, I think that's a good line. I think it's a great ending, but I wouldn't glaze it that much where I was like, I've never felt this in a movie before.
Sure.
I was like, oh, that was really freaking good. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And The Odyssey has a few of those moments.
Sure. The Odyssey ends with something very strong just like that.
Yeah, and
which we'll get into in spoilers. And it's interesting because it's really cool, Oppenheimer, because it's about people, technology. You know, it's like you're advancing technology, and did you advance technology too fast to the point that it's going to create your own doom? You know? It's very Jurassic Park in that way. You know, your scientists were so caught up with if they could, they didn't think about if they should.
Right.
That's the ending of Oppenheimer. And Odyssey, it's like not a similar ending, but it's an ending that leaves you with a message like that. But it's not about technology. And I thought that was really cool that Nolan has gone back to back with those kind of movies, considering his previous movie was his take on James Bond. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Nolan usually does that. I wasn't expecting another one of those moments with Odyssey, but I think we got one.
All right.
But we can't really
Spoilers?
talk about it till spoilers, so let's just get into spoilers.